Well, hello, it's Kathy and Ruby Renfield, and today we are heading off on a little bit of a jaunt. With me are Marie and Sam, her husband, and we're heading out to a place called the Hub at Mangrove Mountain. What I haven't shown is the ride out to where we are now, just because I figured you'd kind of been taken on that road quite a few times before, and so it was up through Carryong Hill, no problems at all. And then we headed out to what's the street called? I think it's Mangrove Mountain, Wiseman's Ferry Road, and kept going. So as you get onto Wiseman's Ferry Road, you have the option quite a bit before where we are now to turn left onto the old Pacific Highway that takes you out to Saddles and Pie in the Sky, which were in the previous videos. But instead of turning left, we've kept going and we are following Wiseman's Ferry Road all the way to the hub of Mangrove Mountain. Now, the hub is a lovely little cafe. And the purpose of this ride was actually for myself and Sam. Oh, I've got a little frog in my throat. 1 minute. Sorry about that. For myself and Sam and Marie to just have a little bit more of a chat about the Vespa ride and what we are going to do. And so we decided we'd head out here. I hadn't ridden this way before, but both Sam and Marie had. Marie is on her little Vespa, and I am on Ruby Renfield, and Sam is on his Honda 500, whatever the model is, I don't really know. So this is a beautiful road. I had forgotten how pretty it is. I've been on little bits of this road when I've been out to visit people on farms and what have you, but not travelled as far as I have on this ride. So a few cars on the road. It's a Sunday, so you expect a little bit of traffic here and there, but not too bad, and a few bikes as well. We talked a bit about whether we wanted to do the ride in one whole day, and whether we wanted to break it up into 2 days, and I think we decided that we'd break it up into 2 days. I know I've mentioned this in the previous video. So that's our plan. We'll break it up to 2 days. We'll find somewhere middle to sort of stop halfway. I'm just going to stop there and say, look at those trees on the left. Oh my gosh, those colours are incredible, aren't they? It's autumn here in Australia, and I love bushland. Anyway, so take it over 2 days to get there and 2 days to get home. We will book the same hotel in Canberra, close to where the Vespa days are going to be, so we don't have to travel too far. Sam doesn't own a Vespa, so he will come with us for the ride, but won't be able to come to the Vespa days because he doesn't have a ticket and he's not a member of the Sydney Vespa Club. So that is the plan that we've sorted out. In terms of the route, we are still mapping that out, and I guess today was a lovely kind of look at whether going out this way, the long way round, is a nice route, and it is so pretty. I think it was just because it was a beautiful day, but it is incredibly pretty. So I am loving all of the scenery. Now, in other news, Rosie Vesperina had a service and she's feeling much better. They did think, oh, I have to pause again because look at those more trees. Holy dooly. Look at the colour. Oh. What happened when I went to pick her up though was that the person had said there was an issue with the engine not charging the battery, which is supposed to happen when you're riding, and that could potentially cause an issue down the track. And he had asked whether the bike was still under warranty, and I could not remember. I know it's a 2023 model, and I bought it I think at the end of 2023, or was it 2024? But I couldn't remember how many years of warranty I had with it, and he suggested that I might need to check that because I should probably bring the bike back in to get it looked at. So anyway, I was pondering that as they were finishing up on the service, and then I have to say I was a little bit worried about it as well, and a little bit anxious because I worried that I could be riding it one day and it just stops working if the battery's not been charged. Anyway, when I went to actually pay for the service, he apologised profusely and said actually there's absolutely nothing wrong with whatever that bit is. It was our error in terms of the equipment that we were using to test the voltage, and once we retested again it was absolutely fine. So that was a big sigh of relief because I thought I would be in for a lot of money if it wasn't under warranty, because he would have had to, or they would have had to investigate and find the fault first and then fix it. So, and I know finding faults in engines can be a little tricky, so that was a bit of a relief. So Ruby Renfield lives another day. The panniers have arrived. I think I mentioned in the last video that I ordered some panniers. They've arrived, so I will make a little video maybe at some point when I've installed those to have a look at. So pretty along here and quiet. I think it's Marie in front and then Sam behind Marie and then me at the back. In the last videos you'll know I was leading, and so this is really nice to be just at the back and just going at my own pace, not having to worry about anybody. And you know, I wasn't too worried if I fell behind a little bit. I had the location on the Garmin Zumo, so I knew where I was going. So it was a really nice ride. I really enjoy riding this way. I've said before, you know, the leading of the rides is a little, not stressful, but it's a lot of responsibility. And so if there's more than one or two people, I'm not keen to be the lead, particularly if I'm going somewhere where I've not been before, on a route that I've never ridden before. So I was very happy to just be the person at the back for this ride. There's such beautiful farms out this, or farmlets. I guess you wouldn't call them a farm because I think they're just acreages that people have bought. I don't know whether they do farm. Some of them will do some farming, but just beautiful. What was funny about this ride is when we turned up at the cafe, one of the other ladies who actually had suggested going to that cafe to me, and I therefore suggested it to Sam and Marie, she turned up. She was out for a ride on her own and she knew that we would go there, and she assumed that we would have already left there or were just about to leave, but she arrived about 1 minute or 2 minutes after we arrived. So it was nice to sit down and have a chat. And in fact, she was one of the people that said you're potentially better off doing it over 2 days rather than cramming it in over one, because it gives you the opportunity to have, lots of little stops along the way, which I will need for my butt. So that was nice. When I got to this little section here, the little dog leg, I immediately thought, oh, I actually know where I am now. I have driven here before. I know where this little section is. I've driven there before. So that was good. It would be a lovely area to live. It would just be tricky for me to commute to Sydney from here. The nearest train station would be the one that I catch now, so I'd have to get all the way back to home, or back to that area to catch a train. I guess the other option would be to drive, but anyway, I need the lotto gods to grace me with a lotto win if I ever want to buy any acreage out in this area. But it certainly would be lovely. Oh, the other thing that I purchased was for Ruby Renfield was a kickstand. I'm not going to call it an extender, but it makes the plate or the pad bit a little bit bigger. So I'm going to install it. Some people have said that when they put those on and then kick up the kickstand, it's the plate thing is too big and rubs on another part of the bike. So I don't know whether that will be the case, but I will show you in a little video if I install that and it works. You never know. It was so nice riding in the sunshine, but when we were in the shadow of the trees, it was really cold. I'm always surprised about how much colder I am on the bike as opposed to when I get off the bike and just sit in a cafe. You warm up and then you get on the bike again and start going, and it's freezing. The other thing that I have learnt now that it's moving into the colder weather is my spotty socks that I wear all the time for riding aren't cutting it. They're only kind of like longer than an ankle sock, but not a knee sock. So what happens is when I sit down on the motorbike, I kind of pull up my pants tights a little bit so they don't feel too tight around the knee, and obviously get them to where the knee pad is. But that means that my socks fall down a little bit, and then I feel like a little bit of my ankle or upper, just above my ankle, might be exposed. So I found my ski socks that I wear when I go skiing, which are a nice wool. Pop those on, they go all the way up to my knee, and Bob's your uncle. No more cold legs. I was doing a lot of Google searching for specific motorcycle socks, but then I thought surely my thin ski socks would be perfect, and they are. I've got thick woolly ones, but they're not quite right for this, but my normal thickness ones are perfect. So I will now have warm legs and ankles. Oh, one other thing that happened. Before I started this ride, not this ride, one of the other rides, I dropped my helmet. and it's got a little scuff on it, and it's really bothering me. So I'm trying to decide whether or not I need to replace it. Anyway, we have arrived at the hub at Mangrove Mountain. We're going to park up here. There's some other bikers here and go and have a refreshment. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.